Hey everybody, welcome to the Nerd Dungeon. Happy Memorial Day. It is your boy Dre and the co-host with the most, Smitty Rock. I know that sounds odd me saying that, but before we introduce our guest, I am gonna let you guys know that King Bob has just kind of talked to us over the weekend, and he's gonna be taking a break from streams for a little bit. So we do not know how long that is. We just wish him well in what he's doing, and that we miss him, and that as long as if he wants to keep up and come on, he's always got a free shot to come on and hang out with us anytime he wants. But without further ado, I would like to introduce a native New Yorker, a creative, amazing artist that I've actually gotten the pleasure of looking through his work. The creative, the founder of the Creatives, Red Guardian, folks.
Thank you.
Not
Appreciate
a problem.
That.
Hey, look, King Bob's in the chat, so you know it's already good.
I can't even see the chat, but yeah, go. Whatever.
It's all right. If you go to comments, it'll show you what the stream of chats. If you go into the smaller window.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but as always, I like to start these things off by kind of just getting a basic kind of who you are, what got you into this sort of thing. Hey, Yessie, it's Rojito. That's what you get. I didn't know that's your nickname. I love
Rojito.
it.
I mean, it's Rojito. Not, but now I guess now it is.
It'll be sticking. So I want to know a lot about you because I know that you and I have like kind of this unspoken little going-ons that we've had about me with clowns, and I've actually appreciated a lot of your artwork you've been doing lately involving clowns.
Well, you could say it. You could say it. It's me teasing you every time you're on. It's okay.
So yes. So folks, every time he and I have been on Boozing Buddies, or even just when he's been in here, he has roasted me as a friend does. And we all know I don't like clowns, but I gotta admit, lately Red Guardian has kind of made me turn the corner on some of his stuff because it's looking very cool. I like the style. Some of it has a very like dark Cuphead kind of feel to it, and some of it has like an old school graffiti style to it. So if you're into that, definitely check his artwork out. But before I even go further into that, I want to know what got you started in all this.
Into which part? Because there's like tons of different avenues.
All right, so let's start with the art style, and then we'll graduate into everything else.
So the style actually is a full on. I've never found myself in art style. I always started with graffiti. That was the initial style. It was always bombing and large thick lines and things of that nature. And then comic books came around. So then one of my biggest influences of mine was Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and all of them. So I took on to their styles and their detailed styles, illustrations of me adding more detail, trying to emulate them. But then after a while, I was like, all right, this is not for me. Even though I could do it, this is not for me. Then Dragon Ball came out, and then I was like in the early 90s, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's simplistic, but you can get the detail down and stuff like that. And I started getting into that. And then like little by little, like I started losing the detail of what I would add to artwork, and I started adding more life to simplistic shapes and detail and shapes and characters. So like I like to be more expressive now with certain shapes, like certain facial features or certain things like that, because I think I could do that with more detailed work, but I think it's more of a challenge and more fun for me when I do that with more simplistic shapes and characters and stuff like that. So then that's when you start seeing my work. Like you see this actually. This is actually my clown the way it started. That's probably Kuko. It scares you right now. But that's actually the creative clown before. That's how it was. That's how I had him before. And that I trend that little by little into what the clown is now. And it's a lot more accepted. You know what I mean? It's a lot more, because I did notice there was a lot of clown hate out there, which is fine. But I realized, I wanted to appeal to them too, to some extent appeal to them too. That's why I made this guy over here, which is like a combination clown and person. you
Yeah,
know.
you have some dope ass work. I have to tell you, I it's definitely akin to what I like. A lot of the more
Thanks.
recent stuff I've seen you do, it's definitely up my alley of like stuff I put as a print on my wall or whatever. Because I too am into anime,
Mhm.
and I love like I could tell like you're more like when I see the Astro Boy in the background, and I can see that you're into the Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball style, you know. And it's so funny that you say you graduated from like to hear you graduate from like Scott Campbell, McFarlane, because Campbell, Lee, and McFarlane are heavy on the details and the musculature and like heavy line work and
Big time.
and I love that stuff. I mean, I'm a huge comic book fan, so I love those are three of my favorite artists.
Hmm.
And to hear that you kind of moved into that stuff that you said it wasn't your style to move into something else that's more smoother and expressive, I like.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting transition. I was still trying to find. I was trying to do something that I enjoyed, but still kind of appeal to everyone as well, you know. And I
Mhm.
noticed that anime was my kind of people, you know, like we spoke to, we kind of talked the talk, and it was more fun, it was more energetic, it was more weird. So like there was no holds, like there was no grounds for anything in anime. Like you could do anything and it makes sense. And I was like, you know what? That's where I'm headed. Unfortunately, that's where I'm headed. Let me go down this route. And a lot of my characters are legit. They're just based. There's. It's just so weird and out there, and that's what I truly believe in. Like, I just made a character, and I said, boom, that's a character. Boom, this is a character. You know, it's just how it worked. And then I was like, you know what? I have the base story for a lot of characters in general. And when I would look at it, especially Chunder was like a fluid transition of, the kind of character I wanted to make. But the clown was like I was battling because it's not a he nor she, but it's an it, and then it kind of transitioned to the actual creative demon, demon, you know. It's not a physical being, The creative clown lives in all of us. So that's why, you have Arya, my female character that I just released. She embodied the entire creative clown, and that's why she's who she is now. Like she's like, exploded, you know what I mean, into like a amazing person. You know what I mean? Well, I call them people. they live within me. But yeah.
No, this is your
Um.
world. I mean, you
Yeah. Yeah.
world built obviously to so that
Mhm.
that they are alive and they thrive.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. So what I'm doing is a lot of I had a person ask me like, "Are you creating a full on story?" Right? Like, are you? Because I see like you start these stories here, then you'll go in the middle of something here, and like Arya's at the end, and the creative clown dies. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's going on? And essentially what I want to happen is I want people to come up with the story in between. I want to create a lore where people actually say, this is what Chunder does during this time. Like what happened in between water balloon Chunder and ectoplasm Chunder? Why was he in the graveyard to begin with? You know what I mean? So that's what I want people to kind of like do. Like Nav is another mystery character, right? Like so it's like I want people to develop their own stories, and I just want to read them all. You know what I mean? So that's what's happening.
Yes, he
have
said.
you
Yes, he
ever have
said.
you
It's Red's world, and we just buy tickets for the carnival.
literally? I mean, this sounds so amazing to me because I love when people world build. I play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like world building. I've been playing for like over 30 years. So for me, world building is like
Is everything, bro. It's
is
really
everything.
everything.
So when I gotta create the characters and the setting, I
You
don't
see
use
it.
pre-generated.
Yeah, you
I
see
see
it in
it
your
like
head.
I live and breathe these characters, and my friends that have played long time with me, they see it too. So I definitely can understand the creative process.
Hmm.
Um, so now that we've kind of got the base idea of where you got your style from,
Hmm.
and what was the start for the clowns? Like what got the clowns
I've
their
always,
birth?
yeah, yeah. I've always loved clowns. Everything about them is, I think, clowns are extremely important to, to our community and our culture in general. I think a lot of us as children were exposed to them at a very scary kind of time. But I think, clowns in general, like they're here to make us happy no matter what, no matter what's going on with them inside. You know, that's why the Tears of a Clown and a lot of things happen. You know, they want us to be happy, you know, at their own expense, you know, at their own, you know, failures and everything, you know, just like Robin Williams and people like that. Those were clowns, you know, I call them comedians, but he really wanted us to be happy and, you know, unfortunately at his own expense, you know. So those
True.
are the things that I took on very closely. I was always the class clown, like a lot of people say, you know what I mean? And I would get beat up because of it, you know, and I didn't care. I would always do it, you know. I joke, consider like a lot, but I'm always there for someone, you know, when in need, you know what I mean? To kind of like make you laugh, make you smile or whatever, you know, because I really mean it. It's like I can be fake about it, but I really legit mean it, you know? Like there's really no reason why you should be unhappy, you know. I mean, excuse me. There is reasons why you should be unhappy. But around me, I kind of want you to kind of like let's walk past that just a little bit. You know what I mean?
You sound a lot like myself.
Well, and I'll say this. I mean, Red's done a ton for a lot of people. One of my very early on interact, and it wasn't a direct interaction, but Red had donated a bunch of decals to the Fiends last almost a little over a year ago,
Hmm.
when we were doing our charity baskets last spring, and each basket got an egg with one of his characters with sayings that, you know, inspirational sayings around each of the characters. And they were great because I was like, damn, I wish we had some extras. I could like pull some to the side, you know, as we were
And no
doing
one's
the
gonna have
back,
those either.
you know. But it was, you know, that was I was like that, you know, that was really cool because, you know, he just, you know, he gave them to Geeky to add to the baskets, and it was just, you know, just a pure giving charity nice thing. You know, I've been following Red for almost a year and a half, 2 years now.
Mhm.
Slowly starting to picking up some of the pieces, you know, a couple pieces here and there. And as I pulled a couple of them out for tonight, I was like, "Ooh, I do have a nice little growing collection of pieces." But I was also looking at, you know, we've talked with other artists about drive, hustle, and I was just looking at some of the stuff, especially like, you know, I went back and I was like, wow, you've had like an insane, even with coming, you know, with COVID and coming out. I mean, the last 3 quarters of a year has been crazy
Yeah, it's
for
been pretty
you.
crazy. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
what, last October you had the Deflated Chunder show,
Hmm.
then Decon,
Then
where you had a
decon.
couple of releases there.
Yeah, I was worried, man. Like I had to go and start driving. You know, COVID. Excuse me. COVID threw a wrench in pretty much everyone's drive and everyone's scene and everything. I can say for myself that when COVID happened and they said everyone's staying home and we're gonna do this, that, and the third, I was like, boom, I'm home. I got art. I'm gonna create an unbelievable amount of art. You know what I mean? And lo and behold, it did the complete opposite. I was in full restrictive mode. Like my whole creativity was draining for me. I felt like I didn't want to make anything. You know what I mean? And it hurt. Like it really hurt inside that I couldn't make anything. You know, like there was a major block. And not to say I didn't make stuff, but I really thought I was going to flourish during COVID. You know, and I don't think many of us did it. You know, a lot of creatives weren't able to do that. Come out and start
Yeah.
creating. You know, during. Um, but when I started noticing that we were coming out of the, you know, getting out of the whole, we could get out a little bit more and stuff like that, I was like, that's it. I'm getting out this bullshit. Like, enough is enough. Let me, you know, that's why I started planning for Chunder, the Chunder show, which was
Hmm.
actually that was actually with my first induction into the City Artist Corps with New York City. They gave me a grant for $5,000 to do a show. Like they saw my stuff and they were like, your stuff is very unique. Would you be able to do a show? I was like, hell yeah, I can do a show. I just don't know of what. But I said, hell yeah, Like the first thing I'm always taught, like I was taught, and I teach my kids and everyone else, like if someone says, can you? Just say yes and then figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Figure it out on the road to doing it.
Never lose an opportunity. That's Fetch for Donuts piece, and that glows amazing on the black light.
Yeah.
And I did, that's what I did. I contacted my very close inner circle, new artists just as well. And I said, bro, this is going to be an opportunity. They were like, how long do we have? Because artists like that generally have like 3-4 months. And in the red style, of course, I said only 3-4 weeks is what you have. And I was lucky enough to have everybody that I contacted. You're good, Red. I got you. Like, we're going to make something amazing. Let's make it happen. And like Smitty was holding up that piece. Fetch like killed it on that piece. Everybody.
That show was insanely cool. That was one of my first shows that I went to.
That piece
and yeah, the location was perfect. I think everything just worked out beautifully. Like we were really blessed to have an opportunity to present a show that was fully artist to artist, And I'm starting to take that into heart now. Like that's why creatives happen, because I'm like, you know what? I need to start taking control over my whole situation and being an artist and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Let me start working and hustling.
Oh no, dude, you got the hustle, because like this reminds me of the same conversation I had with Alex when he and I sat down and we had the conversation here about how COVID affected him and what he was going through, and he was like, yeah, I was going through this and going through that, but he's like, I had that hustle, that desire to keep going, and and to me that's a big deal, because this shit could have easily hampered your creativity. Could have hampered 100%. Anybody's creativity.
100%.
And it affected a lot of people in that way. Like I saw a lot of YouTube creators take breaks. Some people just were like, I'm done, because they were like, I don't have any content. Mm-hmm. But we thrived in that time.
We did.
We saw an opportunity.
Yeah, near the end, I was like, what I consider my end, which is during COVID, I was like, enough. Like I'm done with this. I felt my hustle like going low, like fighting daily. I was like, you know what? Enough is enough, bro. Let's bash through these gates. Start with the Chunda show, and like Smitty said, it was one after the other, after the other, and after the other. And I was telling people, you have a show? Put me in. I don't give a shit if I don't have anything. Put me in. And people know that if you put me in any show, it doesn't matter what it is, a table, show, whatever, I'm going to deliver. I'm not going to, I'm going to deliver no matter what. So that's basically what started happening. I overloaded, and thank goodness I overloaded, because it was needed,
So go ahead, Smitty, go ahead.
I was going to ask. All right. So Decon, I know you brought out a new nav piece.
The nav exhausted. Yeah.
So you had them with the butterflies, which was a cool touch, mm-hmm. in the box with them lying and the exhausted nav. But you had also done this one, I thought was really cool. The
nav bootleg,
the bootleg Lego Crypt.
Wow. That is so cool.
I haven't opened because I'm like, no, I gotta keep it on board.
Well, you can open it. Those are resealable clasps, so you can open them.
But all right, but those were Decon, and then when did the creatives come out? Because the creatives were in the works for almost a year.
Yeah, so in June, I developed the idea. I decided to go along with the idea as a crowdfunded initially. I didn't want to go through Kickstarter because they take some large fees, and rightfully so. They should take these fees. They really do have a great platform, but I'm a glutton for punishment, and I want to do things for myself. So I said, you know what? Let me crowdfund and let me work my ass off to see what I can do for the creatives. This is my dream, you know. And it started off slow, you know what I mean? Because the idea behind the creatives was very difficult for people to grasp because it's such a it's so out there, you know what I mean? The possibilities are so out there that it's like, how can you do this one card? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I really fought for it. Unfortunately, we didn't get the entire amount. So that's when I said, you know what? Enough is enough. We reached, and I said, you guys get me to half. I'll take all my art cash, everything that I've made, and I'm gonna dump it into it and complete the project. I'm not gonna fail at this. And that's what happened. People met me a half. I gave the other half, and boom, I started running with it. I got all that money. I started running with it as fast as I could. And artists were like, "All right, what's going on, Angel? The 6 months." And I was like, "Now you got a month. Let's get some shit rolling. Let's go."
I mean, that's awesome with the creatives. I'm just going to tell you, those cards are very cool. I think the fact I want to congratulate you for already the second series
Thank
and
you,
already
man.
with the artists. I mean, just the pics of the artists. I'm loving all the artists that you've seen because that you have there because either I've seen their work or they've been on the show or will be on the show. So it's dope to see it, dude. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I wanted to, you know, the creatives was to introduce
Oh yeah,
people
see,
to
that box
every.
is staying sealed.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing. By the way, they've told me that they bought a box and they're keeping it sealed. Um, but it's an extremely important project. I wanted to find a way to introduce new people to new artists that they've never heard of, convert a lot of people to real art and not fake toys and stuff like that are from unknown people, you know what I mean? And once you collect them, your journey's not over. You know what I mean? Like you have a side quest to get signatures, side quest to get your own kind of art done. You know what I mean? From your own people. You know, so there's so much attached to it. There's so many different ideas and creative connections to it that a lot of me introducing that in the beginning was sort of difficult to get people to understand. You know, but after the first pack, bro, like that's when I started noticing when people opened that first pack, that's when people were like, "Oh shit. Oh my god, I understand. This is crazy. This is crazy." And like people lost their shit. Like it all and that's what I would tell them. Like after I started noticing it was like one pack, I was like, "Bro, open one pack and then you'll understand what's really happening." And like, bro, it changed. It made so many waves. It changed people's thought processes. People started selling pop collections because it's like, why am I collecting, you know, nothing against Funko because it's a great company, but why am I collecting unknown pieces of art for nostalgia when I could be collecting from an artist that I could actually talk to or someone I can actually meet who's actually doing meaningful art? You know what I mean? Someone that's been down the block that I didn't even know was down the block is making amazing art. You know what I mean?
Shout
And
out to all the North Carolina artists I have met through this creative group because if it wasn't for the fact that Smitty introduced me to one and then that kind of like
blew
spider
up.
webbed out, like it blew up. I just like was like they're like, yo, I'm over here in Charlotte in like this area of Charlotte. I'm like, what? You're only like an hour away from me. Cool, we can talk. And I've made friends with so many new people, and I love that. This community has been so welcoming with that. And I know that you're at the heart of it, dude. Like Jesse said, like this is like kind of this has been your baby, and this is like you've blossomed this into such a great community. So
And that's
again,
what it's all about, man. Yeah, thank you, brother. Like for real, like it's that's the whole aspect, and I think that's what we were missing. You know, I think we were missing a couple of things, a couple of connections. But I think, hey, what's up, King Bob?
All right, first of all, if you haven't talked to my freaking cards, y'all pull me, y'all can pull me back in, because if there's one person that epitomizes what he's doing, it's me. I went from 0 to 4 fucking cases in like a month, and I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting here right now fiending for the last like 3 or 4 cards that I need. So yeah,
I'm sending them to you.
all I need is the $1.99 there, and then I'm good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've got a
you're
bunch,
$1.99.
and
That's
these are yours, Rob.
and what's funny
These
is
3
he
signed
warned
ones.
me. He warned me the first friggin' stream we did when I opened up my first couple packs. He's like, that $1.99 is gonna be a bitch. And shoot, like 2 months later, yeah, it's been a bitch, but I'm putting that there in the world. I need it. I'll trade a kidney, dog, car. I don't give a fuck at this point.
But see, that's got to feel so good, Red, hearing that from a fan that you've created. That was like you said.
I don't.
It just takes
He'd have
one
it
step.
if I had it.
Yeah, I'm a fucking fan. I'm selling off my pops because I went too deep in on this end, which I ain't complaining about. But
That's what I'm saying. You know,
buying Funko Pops to buying this.
oh man, that's from Surge and Destroy.
Yeah.
That's key. That's dope.
I mean, at this point, I probably would trade the rest of my pops I haven't sold yet for it. I don't care.
Bro,
But
that's what
I
I've been
tried taking
telling
a break. Obviously, that didn't fucking work. So.
We missed you.
I mean, literally Friday, I sat down and I looked at all the fucking shit I had to pay, and I'm like, fuck. I went a little too far, but all fucking worth it.
You gonna get ready for series 2?
Thankfully, I had pops to.
He'll
he is ready. He'll be ready for series 2.
He'll be ready.
Oh fuck yeah! Series 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't give a fuck.
When did the cards officially release?
January.
January.
End of January is when the production was done. So yeah, I want to say between January and February. That's when they were actually released. That's when I was able to wrangle everyone's artwork, do everything on the cards. Like I had to make sure everything was compounded and perfect.
So they really have just skyrocketed, taken off in a couple months.
Yes.
I mean, because because I was looking at, I was breaking down as we were saying, everybody's talking about how artists hustle and stuff, and I was like, all right, so October you had your own character, but everybody doing custom artists customizing your character, and you had the Deflate Chunder show. Decon was what, last November?
Yeah, last November.
January you had the card drop.
Mm-hmm.
February you had you did a show with Martian Toys, the Love Hurts drop.
Oh yeah.
And you had the San Diego Creatives event.
Oh shit, yeah. I mean, you're like, you have it down packed, bro. Jeez.
Then in March,
I'm already getting stressed. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Then in March you had the East Coast event.
Yeah.
You've got you had the.
Then I had the Philly event was this weekend.
Yep, you had the Philly event. The week before that, or 2 weeks before that, you had the Patches and Pins that you were at.
Oh yes, yeah, I was at Patches and Pins. Yeah.
And then just this week, you've been doing streams nonstop between those, because you've been doing the creative corners where you're introducing all the artists and giving people time to actually interact with them in a stream like this. But you were on Dirty Deeds last Tuesday, and weren't you on Paparazzi? Didn't she just start one?
She started one, but I'm not sure. Not yet.
No. Okay. My bad.
But,
welcome to the archive. That is Smitty.
Smitty got on back. That was like shit. Woo! But yeah, like I'm not stopping it. I can't stop. Like, listen, this is my baby, right? And I'm introducing everybody into something that actually exploded larger than what I could even imagine. It makes me so proud. But it's also what it's doing is it's introduced people to artists and creatives out there that would have not otherwise have been discovered by Instagram's ridiculous algorithm. You know what I mean? Like you
Mhm.
can, no matter how hard you would have searched, there's a lot of names on that list initially that you would have never found. You know, so I think it grew into something important. You know what I mean? And I've taken that really to heart. Um, and I think that's why rolling into series two is extremely important. You know, to make sure that we roll with it and make it now that people know what it's about. And there's people, a lot of people that still don't know who the creators are, which is fine. It pisses me off still, but it's like, all right, where were you for the past couple of months with all these damn streams? That's one. And two, how can I get a pack in your hand so you understand the deal? You know, it's starting to feel like a pusher here, but yeah.
Well,
I
here's
had
a
a
good question. How have you, with the level of what the creatives has become?
Mhm.
And I think that the community that it's definitely filtered it out to a lot of people, including someone like Smitty, that has introduced myself, Bob, and our other host JC into this. Um, have you thought about like kind of putting it in like a retail store, like a local comic shop, or like I'm trying to think like maybe even like Toy Tokyo in New York, or like any kind of places like that?
Yeah. So the boxes now, if you look underneath the box, I kind of forward prepared for it. There's a box, a little section for an actual barcode. It's a UPC code that I would have to purchase if it ever went to that Walmart or serious situation where I'm like, oh shit, that's it, it's a wrap, you know. So and put in a couple of phone calls. Yo, you got 2 weeks to make that barcode happen. um, but as of right now, yeah, I've put the cards because it's so important to me. I've put the cards in places where I feel are important in the industry. So I put it in the hands of Martian Toys. They carry the creatives. I put it in the hands of Tenacious Toys, Invasion Toys. Um, Now it's going to Canada with Soda Pop. There's a place over there. So Strange Cat Toys in Florida, they have it too. You know, and those are the only places, quite honestly, that have it. Because in my opinion, at this time, unless I haven't seen you, you know, they're the ones kind of pushing, you know, grabbing artists as much as possible to put out great toys. You know what I mean? Because they're
Well,
investing just as well. You know.
I'm gonna tell you now. I want you to put a box in my local comic book shop because they have been 100% pushing out local artists. Because I worked with a few local artists, like actually recently, as within the last month or so. I've met uh, two here that are working with big publishers, like for Image and for Scout Comics and for Dynamite. And it's just interesting because I never even met these people until my friends were there at the store. They were like, yeah, Dre, you need to talk to these people, get them on your show. And in there themselves, three of the guys that work the place are artists themselves. So I think you putting a box in that store where they're they're cultivating Charlotte's art scene, because like I've said to people of color, it down here, it really is difficult. It's a lot of who you know.
Of
But
course.
getting a lot of the artists that are, you know, that want to be getting that exposure. I think that, you know, like Ninjito's in Atlanta. Like I didn't even realize he was that close. You know, and he's right there, and he's well known throughout Atlanta. Like a lot of my friends that are in the toy community and YouTube community know who he is. And I was like, I'd love to see you guys have like a box in like every good.
I would not complain if there were boxes at Plastic Empire. I really wouldn't.
That's another
I mean,
place
they
too.
wouldn't be
I
there
definitely
long,
would have.
but I would take the drive up there and just buy them all myself. But I mean, I wouldn't complain. I'm just saying.
But just so you know, you already have two guys off this show, myself and Bob, that would be willing to walk into these places for you on your behalf to say, "Hey, you need to purchase this box, and this is why." I'm a hustler too. I'm from New York. I know what the hustle
Yeah,
is like.
no. Listen, and you know what?
Yeah.
New York hustle is New York hustle, but from what I've learned overall, that hustle's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like
Facts.
if you want to do something, bro, trust me, you're gonna make it happen. That's when you don't know it yet, but that creates, you got a hustle in you. You know what I mean? And that's why I really don't talk shit about the Funko community and shit like that, because y'all motherfuckers is crazy hustlers, bro. Like, you show up where you get stats, you get where, you get how many, you get this and ratios and shit. That's hustling, bro.
Yeah.
That's like making it happen. So I don't knock that at all. Not 100%. You know what I mean? Uh, so getting it into those shops and whatnot, that's fine. Like, walk in on my behalf. I trust Smitty, and I trust you guys. Go in, bro. Like, make it happen. If they're willing to hold some, why not? See, you don't understand. Like, I was at a show for Vincent Scala in Clutter Gallery.
Hey,
I went
Nadia.
there I went
Yeah,
to
Vince is going to
support
be
him.
on the show. He's
Oh,
actually going to be
excellent.
on the show.
Yeah, he's amazing. You know what I mean? That's my brother right there. And we're talking, whatever the case would be. I'm walking around, talking to different people at the gallery. I see these two kids up there, and there must be like 10 years old, 10, 12 years old. And I asked the dad, I'm like, they like art like that? Like, yeah, they're like mini artists or whatever the case would be. I'm like, boom, I got you. Go to my car, I give him 2 packs. I'm like, here's a pack of creative. I explain it to the dad. I'm like, Dad, look, listen, this is what's happening with this. I would think this is something I would suggest that you kind of look more into. You know what I mean? Like, if this is something that, he was like, really? He was like, this is dope. Like, and he's like, you're an artist? Oh, so then he was like, all right, kids, come in a conference. He was like, well, this is what he does. This is rah, 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 rah. And I don't care doing that. But I'm like, when they opened it, you could see like there's sparks in their eyes. It's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, I get it. What's this blank card? What do I do with this? You know what I'm saying? Boom. That's it. It explodes their mind. Once they realize they can have a trading card, your mind just oozes from your eyeball, So
It's true.
it's important to kind of introduce people to more creative things out there. You know what I mean? I think it's important.
Most definitely. And I think that with what I've seen from your work, and not just what you've done, but the inspiration that you've caused, because like you have all these artists that we've talked to that either had heard of you through name, and then we're like, Smitty's like, yeah, well, I've met him, and he and Dre's talking to him, and Bob knows him, and they're like impressed that like 2 relative unknowns and me and Bob that are just like really dipped our toes into the community. I would say Bob's more waist deep in the community.
I'm the water's over here. Thankfully, I have a snorkel, but yeah, I'm in the deep end now.
But the benefit is that I see and hear so much positivity and so much influence of getting people into the field. Like, my daughter, hers is 12 and she loves to draw. Alex has been like, Dre, I got you. I'm going to send you this so you can get her this. And, Serge, when he was on the show, Ghost, when he was on the show, every guy has come to me and been like, nurture that. I'm like, y'all don't got to tell me.
Yeah, even if, that's the thing. Even if you don't draw, you have cards in there that is made for you to just color. Like, you don't have to draw. You can just, everybody colors. You don't even have to stay in the lines. You know what I'm saying?
Bob's love those cards.
His Instagram every other day.
I'm running low
bored at work. I'm coloring.
I'm running low,
but it's the whole point.
No, they're fun to color.
Yeah, it's the point is taking a break from regular mundane bills and shit that we go through as adults, and just relax, color a little bit. You legit just disappear for a little bit, and then you come back, and then you just do what you got to do.
Well, it's funny. Was it Saturday night? Was it Saturday or yesterday? I was like, all right, I'm gonna color one. Next thing I knew, I was like 8 deep, and it was like 4 hours later. I'm like, oh shit, what the? I'm just sitting there watching YouTube coloring. Like, oh shit, I need to eat dinner. Never mind.
So when you were putting Series 1 together, how hard was it to get to 50 artists?
Hey, Tristan.
It was
Go Eddie.
it was definitely difficult. Because just had to convince people that don't otherwise collect cards in general. You know what I mean? To at least order. It was so the ones that knew me, like Playful, and a lot of the artists that know me, they'll say yes to no matter what. If I say, bro, we're gonna walk through these flames, but after these flames is this and that, they're like, all right, boom, that's it. Let's start walking through these flames now. Fuck it. What are we waiting for tomorrow for? Let's just do it now. You know. But then there's those that don't really know me, so they're like, I know, but a lot of people in the past they pitched these ideas and things and these pipe dreams, and I have to respect that because it's true. As an artist in the scene, depending on how long you've been here, you get so many people out there saying, "Bro, I got this idea. You would be perfect for it. All I need is this piece of art from you." And da 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 da. And then it just doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? So we've wasted our time and energy in doing this and respectfully submitting it for it to go nowhere. Now we based on belief, of course, because we have no choice, right? But not when I'm doing it. Not when I'm like, this is my personal dream to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, the most that will happen is that it fails. But that's not the plan. That's a plan B. There's a plan A, and that's what's going to happen. By hook or by crook. You know, my mentor told me by hook or by crook and showed me what that meant. So if you want to make something happen, you'll fucking make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You may hurt at the end of it, but you'll make it happen. So, and you trust me. Trust me when I say I was hurting when I paid that bill to make these cards.
And yes, he knows exactly where I'm going with that question.
Go ahead.
Because well, I wanted to know because I mean, all right, and I can say I bought in to the crowdsource
Yeah.
early on because I was like, all right, the concept alone sounds dope. I had no idea like how you know I mean, I bought 2 boxes. I was like, and I didn't know how that was going to position me or what, but I was like, no, I gotta get in. And I was so glad I did. Um, and then then I dragged everybody. I knew. Hey, did you see these? You guys got to check these out. These are badass.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking to these guys, you should, and it's
man, you should buy a pack or two. Or 4 cases.
I swear that's the pusher man right there. He's your pusher man.
But you just closed. I mean, well, you're announcing the artists for Series 2 right now. You had 370 applicants.
Yeah, a little over 320.
320. Okay. I was over pumping. Okay.
No. Well, yeah, 370.
You ain't got to over pump on 320 either.
More like 730.
We had 10,000 entrants.
10,000.
But, all right. But I mean, in 5 months, you've gotten enough artists to realize these cards and the interest around them and what they can do for an artist is that big.
It really is. It really is. Because pitching that also to the artists, like when you say like this could happen, if you participate in this, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in these ideas and things that you're trying to get across. You know what I mean? So when I say, listen, it's going to if you put your best on these cards and people can relate to them to some extent, now people can contact you because they can now. You know what I mean? This is not Tops. This is not this or in the third where this is someone in another place that you'll never be in contact. You know what I mean? Now, if they feel your art, they'll be able to look at what you do. They'll be able to collect maybe a toy or two. You know what I mean? And that's it. You got it for life. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's really what it is. Like, I just, that was the whole thing. Here, guys, look at Look at Kata Garcia. Look at her. Do you like her? Yes, 3 people out of the 50 that do, 3 people like her, and now they DM her all the time. Boom! Come on, guys, let's go to this next person. You know, and that's what it was like. You know what I mean? Like people just started buying in droves original art and asking them, "Can I commission you to do this? Can I commission you to do this?" Because it's, bro, like legit. It was that important. You know what I mean? So when, I hate to say it, but when people that did not really want to join in the beginning, when they started noticing, like, oh shit, that's what he's doing, then it was like, oh, I kind of fucked up. Should have been in that series one, you know. And I welcome it. I'm like, we're series 2. You know what I mean? We'll try. At the time, it was like, I don't know, maybe there'll be a series 2. You know.
I like that though. I like where you like with you getting the hook. You had like the great salesman's pitch. You're like, I got to get you on that first one. I missed you. Now you're seeing it, and you're like, oh shit, I should have been on this one. Now series 2 comes out, and I'm like, because of your influence in that community and what I've seen, it got me interested in looking at other artists. So like, I got introduced, and I even tried to get this guy on the show, Godtail. He's amazing. I mean, I speak Japanese, and I mean, when I was like, let me speak Japanese to this guy and see if I can get him on the show, but due to obviously time differences, and he felt the language barrier for him was a little too much, that he didn't want to be on the show. But I was like, look at what your influence has done. You know, like you've gotten people to dip their toe in interest of seeing what artists are out there, what people do the art style that they like. Where can I see it? Where can I like look into it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's awesome, because I just want to get a couple of the questions here, because we have Christian, one of the guys that's is one of my very good friends, says that he wants to know if you're an independent artist, and I'm guessing, I don't know what's the difference. You're independent or you're not. Like, you
yes,
don't really work out of an art house, right?
Yeah. So there's Red Guardian, the brand, Red Guardian LLC, the brand that controls everything that I do. I'm Red Guardian, the artist. So in essence, it's like Inception. I do whatever I tell myself I have to do. I'm independent. I do things that I don't want to do, but I have to do them. But yeah, I'm fully independent. I pride myself in making sure that all my stuff is mine. I pride myself in knowing that if I fail, it's out of my own and not because someone else doesn't see my potential.
Wow, that's very. I like that idea that you see your potential and you know what you can do. I guess what is something that you don't like to do? Like, what is something that, like, when you say, like, is it drawing a particular style? Is it encountering somebody that doesn't like what you're doing? Like, what is that? Like, what would be something that you don't like doing?
Yeah, so that sometimes there's one thing in particular is if I have to do any production releases, collaborations where it's multiple pieces, where I'll have to be sort of restrictive on how creative I want to be with it. You know what I mean? So being that there's a restriction, I'm like, all right, let me hold it down a bit. Let me try to make it still amazing, but let me not go too crazy, you know? So whenever I'm kind of restricted to doing certain things, I kind of lose it, and then I'll do it. But I have to, right? Because part of the whole scene too is collaboration. You know what I mean? I also want this person, whoever that I'm involved with, to succeed in whatever they're doing. And if my name or our name together combined can do something that can make that happen, 100%. If I respect you as an artist and I respect you and I respect your hustle, sorry, I respect you as an artist and your hustle together, not just one over the other, then I'm going to do that with you, you know? But if I feel like I have to do all the work for you, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Best of wishes, best of luck. You know, good luck to you. Like if Search and Destroy said today, let's do this, we're gonna drop this, I'm like, all right, bro, let's do this, you know, because nobody hustles as hard as this dude. You know what I mean? That dude is bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? Knocking him out.
He's awesome.
You know?
Like
bang, bang, bang.
He's another one. I actually just let people know here. that Serge and I are actually doing a collaboration that I'm not even an artist. Like he and I are working on something that's actually really cool that we're putting together. Hopefully we'll have it after the summer, because I know he has a couple of projects that he's working on, but it's definitely something that he and I have talked about. And it was such an interesting phone call to have, like, to speak to an artist, like, and be like, here, this is my idea. Let's breathe life to this. And then he and I are just going back and forth. And then at one point we just synced, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. I love it. And like, you're right. Exactly. You're right. When you find that guy that works with you so well, like you said, like he is God, him and Alex, they have such a hustle in them to get whatever they got to get done.
Absolutely.
I mean, respect on all levels. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I love what you're doing and how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next? I mean, you got Creatives 2 already on the books. Is there already the draft idea for Creatives 3?
There's a somewhat because see that now that Creatives is a brand, Red Guardian is full on the brand that's running Creatives. I have my own toys that I'm working on too, and releases that I'm working on as well. Because now I can work for myself now and do what I want to do. I was able to deal going on for a branch off, a collaboration with the Creatives. So something like that is percolating.
Ooh.
Still full on Creatives. Something like that. I am working on a location for Creatives Con, because I believe a con is extremely important, and I think a Creatives Con would blow the waters out of everybody out there.
Folks, you hear it here.
Well,
press passes right here for all of us right here. We're gonna get some press passes to cover this event.
I had, and I apologized to Red already for not making the Philly because I was sick and still am, but over the weekend, because I really wanted to be there. But I can tell you from being at the New York event, I mean, getting the chance to meet so many artists, and then just seeing how the different artists interacted with each other and stuff, and seeing just the collaboration stuff that's come out of them being at that event and stuff has been crazy. The amount of collab stuff that has come out since March, or the announcements that, hey, I'm going to be working with this one, and you know, and it was like, I saw them talking. That happened.
That happens. I saw the birth of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I mean, that's been, I mean, a great example of that was, Mento and, what is it? Snack Rabbits, drop, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was then? Yeah, about it then?
But that, they were talking at the event. It was like, I mean,
it's amazing. You know what I mean? And the fact that I can't even tell you how inspired I was, because Smitty saw me. I was kind of like, half the time I was talking, but half the time I was just always in awe. Like I was always in a corner by myself, kind of like looking in and just like taking it in and seeing people just selling and talking and creating together, and it was all love. There was no
and
tension.
Snack Rabbit and Ganga. Yes,
Gonga's another one. A lot of people flew in from California. It was really truly something beautiful. You know what I mean? And I think if we have a Creatives Con with not only the creatives but other creatives, people that are creative, I think it'll be something that would kind of shift the designer scene a little bit, the right way, in the right direction.
Oh, that paradigm shift would be awesome, because Ghosty is definitely, when he first came on, he talked to us about that. He was like, Toy Chats is going to be something big. And we have definitely made some moves where, like, I've been surprised that I have people recognizing us outside of YouTube. Like I have friends of mine like that'll be like, "Hey, this dude from Image Comics wants to talk to you, be on your show." I was like, "What? Like, huh? Like Image Comics? Like I've been reading Image Comics for like 30 years. Are you serious?" They're like, yeah. And I'm just like impressed that like it is creating that platform and the opportunity for artists and other people to speak about what they love and what they do. And that very much like it read like I'm with you on that.
Like
I want to see other people succeed.
Yeah. I pride myself on saying specifically an artist creating for artists. You know what I mean? I'm here. I'm a business. I am a business. Yes. Legally, I have to call myself a business because I have to pay taxes. But it's an artist for artists. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I know the pains of being an artist in the scene. And thankfully, I have a brand that protected me, but there's a lot of artists that aren't protected like that, and they're taken advantage of,
All right. I mean, for me, one of the biggest things I get out of this program is it gives me a chance to bring on people I like that I support with, by trying to follow and purchase their stuff. It gives them that extra, a chance to get a little extra exposure.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't a big stream, but we're slowly growing. We're growing, and we've done well this, so far this year. But
listen,
like I said, getting you on, getting you some, the chat's been, the last couple of weeks, the chats have been getting more and more active, and
have they ever?
It's great. But for me, it's giving you guys a chance. That's why I usually, if I have pieces from one of the artists, I try showing them off. So, hey, like this piece or this piece.
And I've told you, Smitty, like, and that's the other thing. Smitty is no joke. Like, I'm gonna say it, Smitty. So I told him, like, bro, like he was like, bro, I can't make it to the Philly event. I'm like, so, like, you come to every fucking event, like, out there, like, you show so much support. Like, go rest, go to sleep, bro. Do your thing.
Exactly. Get some NyQuil and go call it a night.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I see these things. I see your face. I see you standing in line. I'll see you. You know what I mean? I know who's supporting. I see that. You know what I'm saying? So when I have to vouch for you or I have to do that, I'm like, yeah, I put my name on this person. You know what I'm saying? Of course. No question. You know what I mean? So, like, when you ask me to be on or whatever, I can't be on at every show, of course. But you guys ask me on. You guys are great people. You know what I'm saying? Why not? If anything I could do to help, of course. So thank you guys for doing the show. Yeah.
No, we appreciate you for coming on. That's like the biggest part of the whole reason why we do it. Like Smitty said, I got to a place a long time ago where I've seen so many people get like these streams together and they use it to promote themselves or to promote their shows. And after talking with guys like Big Dub, Josh Pence, Cincy Nerd, and like actually like talking to them, not like and like having a one-on-one conversation with these people, I've gotten to feel this level of like I could do anything. It just means I just gotta ask. And why not? What's the worst you're gonna tell me? No.
Of course. Like anything, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Of course. You should always ask. Listen, what's the quote out there? Like, the closed mouth doesn't get fed. Is that it? Ooh. I mean, come on, dude. You have to ask. If you don't ask, you're not gonna get. So a person will tell you, nah, bro, chill, leave. Or a person will say, yeah, nah, let's do this. Let's do this thing.
Exactly.
And most of my successes came from asking first. Like, would you mind? It's always out of respect. And would you mind this or blah, blah, blah.
And that's why when we had you on, it was like, I know the level of credentials you carry because other artists that I had spoken to had heard about the list, like Zardapuya, and just like when I mentioned him, they were like, oh, he's like, Alex helped me get him. But Alex was like, oh yeah, he knows Red, he knows Fed, he knows this. And then when I talked to them, and they were like, "Oh God, the interconnection I've created of just networking with artists, with yourself. Like eventually, when I come up to New York to visit, I'd love to hang out with you, grab a coffee, and just fucking see some of your artwork, man. Just like talk and shoot the shit.
100%. Yeah, of course. 100%. I'm always here,
See,
bro.
that's what
I'm
we
always
do.
in New York.
I'm here.
He's driving around the boroughs all the time.
Bro, always driving. Always. Almost
So wait, what
arrested,
borough is your
everything.
home? Before I have you leave, what's the borough that you call home?
All 5 boroughs in home. Sorry. All my boroughs.
Oh, he just because I was a Bronx. I was born in I lived in Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn in a hospital, but I grew up in New Rochelle and in the Bronx.
Okay. That's
So-
good for you. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, business in Manhattan, grown up in Brooklyn. Like I could keep going in circles. This is how it works.
I love it.
When people say that, like what borough? I'm all borough, bro. Like seriously. Every borough in New York has something to I'm telling you right now.
I like that. That's respect. That's like woof, like respect. So,
Yeah,
I mean, anybody in the chat have any questions for him? Because I feel like we've monopolized him, and I mean, I feel like I got to know him so much better. Are there any questions out of the chat that anybody would like to ask Red?
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
but I would also reinforce. I mean, when Red says he's an artist for artists, I mean he is. I mean, we've got Ganga in the chat. Ganga's first custom showpiece was in Red's show.
Yeah,
The Chunder Deflate,
and sold fast.
and it wasn't his the first one to sell.
Yeah, sold fast. I think it's one of the first 2, if anything. Literally the first. Like as soon as they open, bang, I want it.
Yeah. So I mean, between the creative cards, the custom shows, collabing with people on their pieces, but giving them, his custom show, giving artists, a chance to, people that aren't necessarily bigger known artists. So I mean, who else? Mad Hatters had a piece. Skadoots had a piece.
Yep.
And
hers sold. Hers was great too, and hers sold almost immediately that night.
I was so torn on which one I wanted. Which one I was going to actually. I had so much I could afford one, and I couldn't get Reds because that one was just a bit out of my price range. But Reds was, oh God, that one was so dope.
That was also tough to make, but yeah.
No, I mean, I understand why it was where it was, but I was like, yeah, okay, let me go look at the other ones again. But I was so torn because I was like, oh, like Priscilla's was, great, there were so many good customs there. I was, it was like, it was tough picking one.
And we need that. We need someone, even if it's not me, I'll do it. I have no problem doing it. But we need more representation for the underdogs that are hustling hard, who are really trying. Not just everybody, the underdogs that are hustling hard, because those are going to be the ones that will take it and run with it. You know what I mean? And that's perfect because all I have to do is just do this and run and like move out the way, And Gonga's pure of that. That dude is just like bangers all day, every day, And as soon as I saw it, I was like, bro, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you need to do this now.
Yeah, I mean, and Gonga's another one. He's been hustling like a madman, lately. I mean, he's taken, every bit of, recent exposure between the cards and, getting on a couple of streams and stuff. I mean, and he's just steamrolling it.
Yep. And that's it. You got to, bro. Well, that's the thing. Not everybody does what they got to do, right? And that sucks. It really sucks. So at least when you see the creators and you see other peers of yours actually, trying, at least it may just inspire you to say, you know what, I got the talent. Let's get this ball rolling. YOLO. Really.
Facts. It really does come down to take a shot. See, worst case scenario, somebody tells you no. You know, my dad always used to tell me that growing up. He always used to say to me, you know, you got to try it. If you fail, you fail. You try at least, but at least you tried.
I love
You know,
failing, bro.
and failure is not a bad thing. Failure is just teaches you that a new you have to take a new avenue to maybe try to get to become successful. You know,
I love it.
So-
Hate failing.
exactly. So you just got to be positive, man. And I'm loving this part of what like Red's community does, and they're very supportive of bringing in artists and just supportive of the supporters, like Smitty, Bob, myself. They care, and that's something that gets lost in translation a lot of times.
But without you guys, we're really right. We're not going in, right? So we could be the biggest gears we are, but whatever gear you guys play, without you guys, we're not moving anywhere. No matter how big the vehicle is, you understand? So once we put you guys into play, we're rolling, bro, and we ain't stopping. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are just as important as us doing art. Hate to tell you. So get to work.
Well, that's why like I said, I can't draw, but my creative brain has created this show with these two gentlemen, and it helps us give you this platform. And I just want to say thank you to Red for giving us this time, because I feel like I've gotten to know him a lot better. I love seeing his artwork. My eye keeps going to his beautiful print that is sitting right behind him, folks.
Well, that's my homage.
I love it.
Oh, which one? This is my homage to Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Spawn issue 1. This is for Father's Day. This is almost done.
Oh, I'm loving it. So if you guys have not, please, Smitty posted his link in the chat. Go check him out. He is amazing. He is
Thank you guys.
Done so much, and he is still doing so much. And like I said, when the Creatives Con comes around, expect that we here at the Nerd Dungeon will be press passing and going in there and walking
my
around.
way. I don't care.
Bro, you guys are down, bro.
I'll
I'm telling you.
It don't matter. Well,
you guys are getting
depends how far it is. But
I love that. I see Red's like, look, it's like we're gonna be those guys at the front of the club. That Red's gonna be like, yo, they're on the list. Just bring them on in.
I will tell you this. I mean, yes, Red. I mean, yes, he's one of my favorite artists. I've got, like I said, I mean, I've got a number of pieces. I mean, I didn't even show off, the two mini techs, the clown and the grime.
Trying to save money here. I'm trying.
But, I can tell you, like, when I was getting ready to head out of the New York event, and you said to me, did you have a good time? Because it looked like you were. And when I said, it was incredible and it was amazing. And when you said that, that made you feel good, I mean, that touched me. But I mean, it also touched me. I'm waiting in line for patches and pins. Red's going back in to finish setting up, and he says hi to me in line. He stops and says hey to me. He recognized me as he's walking up, and and actually it was funny because my boys that were there, they were all like,
"Who the fuck are you?"
He's like, "How does he know you? Who are you that you?" They were all impressed.
No, but like I said, I recognize important people, important. I don't want to say important people, important, personas in my life. You know what I mean? So, when people that become important when they support me and what I'm trying to do repeatedly, you know what I mean? Like I see you really want me to succeed, and I think Smitty knows that. I that's something I truly appreciate. I don't just talk shit. I truly appreciate it.
I'm trying, Yossi. I'm trying to be on trying to get to your level.
So yeah, like when I say thank you, it goes on a different level. Like I truly mean it.
And I like that. That's a humility that I've been learning lately, and I'm very glad that we got to have this amazing conversation. So if for the people that do not know, that do watch this, because we have had a couple of new people watch the show and message me, or and I know they've messaged like other people to ask, like, where can we find your artwork? Because I'm already subscribed to you, but where can they find you?
Bro, redguardian.com. That's it. It's been around for many years, but yeah, redguardian.com. That's the only way you could get to me. I mean, I have my Instagram profiles and such, Red Guardian NYC, but redguardian.com is my home base.
So see, folks, that's where you can get to communicate. Like I said, IG is also a good place if you want to see some of his artwork and see what other some of the ideas that he's working on. Like I said, he's genuinely just got a good heart, got a great head on his shoulders. No bullshit for me, because we all know that I can't bullshit. I just don't want to. It's just ridiculous. I have no filter. I tell you the truth. And I think that this is a guy that I can have a great deal of respect for. And, you know, from me, Smitty, and Bob, I want to just say thank you again. It's been an honor to have you here. I look forward a year from now to hear what you've done and where you're going, and we could be with you on that next step.
Who knows? Who knows? It's always changing. But
that's what I'll be here.
I'll be here, and yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Really, thank you, King Bob, for coming on. I know you wasn't coming on. Thank you for coming on.
I tried to stay away, but I can't.
We pulled. But hey, Red brought you back in. Red, before you go, I do want to read this to you. Cardi Artist has written something here in the chat that I think you need to hear. This inspires me so much. I'm new to Instagram and just began to build my brand at 40 years old. Saw Red on IG, and here I am, not now full of inspiration. Thank you, Red.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That means a lot to us, and that means a lot to him, folks. Like, that's the sign of what you do. When somebody is doing that, when they're doing they're giving their all and their art, their soul. This is what you see. And,
thank you,
and trust me,
yeah.
Cardi Artist, I appreciate you saying that, because I think that that's such a beautiful thing to say, and I know that touches my man right in the heart.
Does actually. But thank you so much. Like, I truly appreciate that. And if you need help or whatever, and you're hustling hard, I got you. I got your back, like, without question.
Look at that.
And Cardi Artist, I would say, maybe check out
Booze and Buddies.
Booze and Buddies on Friday nights. They have a lot of the artists that we've had either in the chat or that we have had on here do participate. Red's there a lot on Friday nights. But they have that's a great way to network with a lot of artists in a no pressure, just a good, fun-filled chat and environment, and you'll get to see other artists spotlighted. But like I said, there are a ton of artists in that chat every weekend. So
put it this way: the closed mouth don't eat, like we just heard him say. So if you really would do what you just said, is inspiring to me is hearing that, and is to Red, dude. Reach out to any of us. Reach out to Red. You want to make moves? You heard what he said. If the hustle's there, he's willing to help push that hustle further. If you feel like you want to know other people that we may know a little bit better, Smitty is that guy to talk to. I'm that guy. If you want to just talk to, and you want to come on the show and talk about your art, I'm here for that. Bob is here to buy your art.
I just
color. And he colors. But hey, that's equally as important, because he's here to support you too.
Yeah.
And word of advice: if you buy the creative starts and you find the $199, send it to me.
Yeah, he'll message you his information. So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
But thank you again.
Thank you so much
again for coming on.
We're so happy. And thank you everyone for coming in the chat. We had so many great people, from Josh to Christian to Eddie to Yessie to Cardi Artist to, oh my goodness, the names go on and on and on. King and Gonga, thank you. I know you're going to be coming on the show soon too. I'm going to say thank you to my boy Red Guardian again. Thank you, Bob, for coming on, because I was Sad that you weren't, but I'm glad you
Yeah.
came in. And you know
Whatever.
what, Smitty? And Smitty, thank you. I know you're sounding under the weather, but thank you for coming on as well. Folks, watch your head on the way out the dungeon. As always, my friends, stay geeky, y'all. Peace out, guys.